From next, as weird as that may sound, to music and flipping stuff. Hello, Magi here, and welcome back to another episode of Interesting Touhou Facts, the series where I talk about facts from Touhou that I find either fun, unusual, or simply interesting. So without further ado, let's begin the Interesting Touhou Facts number 65. Number 5. In my opinion, music is an important aspect of life. The art of creating sounds the way you wish is always a cool thing. There are business related to music, and hell, if it weren't for it, some of you guys may have never known Touhou. So why am I talking about it specifically? Well, in Touhou, we have quite the cast of musically themed characters. We have the Prism River Sisters, Lunasa, Merlin, and Lyrica. Next would be the scamming Night Sparrow, Mystia. Speaking of Mystia, we can't forget about her partner Kyoko. The last of the members would be from DDC. We have Benben, Yatsuhashi, and Raiko. In total, we have 8 characters revolving around music. One day, we'll have a concert involving all 8 of them. Hopefully, anyway. Number 4. As you know in Forbidden Scrollery, the main thing we usually focus on is Kozuzu, books, and what kind of crazy shit that she's going to end up in. Only in Gensokyo can your books get you into somewhat danger. Now the interesting thing about it is that Kozuzu claims to have the largest collection of demon books in all of Gensokyo stored in the library she works at. It's essentially her pet project and hobby. I know Kozuzu dealt with Yoma books quite often, considering a lot of chapters relate to that, but I didn't think it would have the largest collection. I was expecting Patchoulie's library to be the top contender given the size and the amount of books that are shown, but there's a good chance that Patchouli simply doesn't deal with Yoma books. I did a bit of researching when it came to Patchouli and the type of books she reads, and nothing demonic nor Yoma came popping up, so I'm going to go with that. I can't be the only one to think Patchouli checking up on Kozuzu's store would be an interesting chapter, right? Number 3. Marissa, our book borrower, right, is a very greedy person. How greedy are we talking about here? Well, I'll let you guys decide on that. In chapter 11 of Waldenhorn Hermit, Marissa shows up to the shrine and Kaizen notices Marissa has a badly injured arm. Marissa says she was walking up the mountain when she was suddenly attacked by a tiger. It wasn't Sho, in case you were wondering. Anyway, Marissa explains that she was hoping to steal some shit from Kaizen. Hell, she didn't even bother to say borrowing in this instance. Fuck it. Kaizen says she has a tiger as a gatekeeper, but was still confused as she had trained it to not attack unless provoked. It's then we learned that Marissa tried to kill it as she thought the pelt would fetch her a high price. Yeah, her greediness knows no bound. Her first goal was to steal someone else's shit. When that didn't exactly turn out well, the best thing was to kill the tiger. I gotta go with Kaizen on this and say you totally deserve that. Number 2. Let's talk about our favorite and only inchling in the series so far, Shameimaru. Now, would you be surprised if I told you she acted and spoke like a young child? Probably not. Now, I wouldn't say she's a dumb character, but she ain't the brightest either. You see, Seija told Shameimaru about some history related to the inchlings, which turned out to be a lie. By telling this lie, Seija was able to convince Shameimaru to work with her. Now, I'm not saying you should know everything when it comes to your people's history, as that sounds like a pain to memorize. But if a person you've never seen before proposes a plan to overturn society and talks about how your people suffered because of yokai, it couldn't hurt to do a little fact checking, don't you think? Enough of that. It appears she has a height complex and will always seek to become taller, like with the Miracle Mallet or the Occult Balls. And trust me, the girl didn't shout once about trying to become taller during Urban. So yeah, I can testify to that. Number 1. We were just talking about the scheming, lying person that was Seija, so it couldn't hurt to talk a little more about her. So Seija's ability, which correlates to her personality, is the ability to turn anything upside down. As literally stated, Seija is able to flip anything into its opposite existence. This would explain why the Shining Needle Castle is inverted. However, the description of the ability is technically inaccurate, as her first spell card flips the screen around the Z-axis. and hence not upside down. I don't give a shit if it was just the Z-axis. That fucking pissed me off. The bloody series is a bitch enough to deal with. I don't want to have to fight the freaking controls as well. Disregarding my rant, she thinks the opposite of what other people think, likes what others hate, and hates herself when she makes others happy. In general, no one liked her, and she liked that fact. She also tends to be talkative. You're practically opposite day incarnated. I wonder how a conversation between you and Sagumi would work out. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode. Which facts were your favorite? Would you like to see a concert with all 8 musical members? Do you think Marissa deserved that injury? Or would you like to see a conversation between Seija and Sagumi? Like always, if you guys enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe, or else Marissa might raid your home, and you don't want that. Unless you have a tiger, then you're good to go. Either way, this is Magi, and thanks again for watching.